we have a long way to go with how we treat ourselves in this country. That the fact that Nigeria has existed to this point is a miracle. The couple of persons even ask questions when you travel out of this country and you try to explain Nigeria and its dynamism with our complex multicultural and religious affiliation. People ask questions, and how have you guys been able to cope together? So it's really not easy at all. I was listening to a particular space, and a Nigerian who stays abroad called via the radio, one of their radio stations in the US, I think, and what the person had to say about the country wasn't palatable. The person said, oh, in Nigeria, they dislike themselves, blah, blah, blah. I was like, wow. And he talked about all of these nuances that operate in this part of the world and literally said everything stops on the table of leadership. The leadership in this part of the country is not credible at all. We don't even act like we're in a democratic dispensation. And unfortunately, it's not just only Nigeria. Do you know that Cameroon, and yes, you're saying what's going on in Cameroon? And Djibouti.
Cameroon is, what are you looking for at 92? What are you looking for at 92? Tomorrow you will hear AU saying, oh, because there is coup there, the country is suspended.
There's already an uprising there.
Yes, why don't you come in now?
Even Djibouti, she did not allow any opposition whatsoever. The woman did not allow any opposition. So why do we have such characteristics in Africa, specifically black West African nations? Why?
It's all over Africa. It's all over Africa. Cameroon is a Central African country. Unfortunately, what we are seeing in West Africa, we are seeing it across all African countries. I mean, I don't know why
Well, some people will say Nigeria is better.
Yeah, because
where you have somebody who has been in charge of the country from 1999 until now.
He's been in power for 40-something years, and he's 92 years old. What's he looking for? Another person don't have better than him in that same country. Sometimes, I don't know, we create problems for ourselves, and at the end of the day, we now begin to shout. You saw what happened to Omabongo in Gabon last time. This C-type syndrome is still bringing something that it's not ending yet.
What is the problem? I want to understand.
Greed. It's greed and selfishness.
Because it's a similar pattern across African nations.
Yeah.
It's a similar pattern.
Felix Yofubuahin did it in Cote d'Ivoire over the years. One party stayed for so many years in power. Then before you know, when he left power, civil war came in. Because people's eyes were now open at, why one party state? Only one part of the country that are, the president comes from were those that were benefiting. So these things create problem. You can imagine what Paul Biya has been doing in Cameroon.
I can't believe it. There was the same thing too. You saw what happened with the Kenyans. Also Djibouti, the same thing too. They're not even allowing for any form of opposition there. And before you know, election results will come up. They'll be announced.
Even the so-called Rwanda we are praising now, Paul Kagame is overstaying in Rwanda. If he actually loved that country and for a repetition of what happened in 1994 genocide not to happen, he's supposed to by now even groom a successor. He must remain there. By now. Must he remain there?
So obviously, there's a lot to be considered in that regard. I wouldn't lie to you. African nations need to do better. We need to adopt a system that I really don't know, but they need to reorient their mindsets.
Yeah,
these OGs who want to hang on to power to God knows when. Sometimes one would ask questions, what is going on with the youth? Why are they not saying anything? How do you want to have anything against the government of the day when they have all the arms and ammunition? And sometimes there will be that kind of bloodshed and there will be no change. Do you know how heartbreaking it is when that kind of process happens and that change doesn't occur?
Madagascar just came out of their own. The Gen Zs took it upon themselves and got the president out of power.
You could even have such scenarios, and whoever is a young person that comes up becomes worse. They become tyrants, they become totalitarians.
Yeah, because at the beginning when they come in,
there's a problem of not understanding the concept of leadership.
Yes. At the beginning, when they come in like, oh, we came on a rescue mission. That's what is happening in Uganda now. Museveni Yoweri has been there since Idi Amin left. Uganda thought Idi Amin was going to be the worst. He has stayed here now like, a monarchical system that until he dies, nobody can occupy that office. These are the issues. What is happening in Uganda now is not something that anybody should also think of.
I'm telling you.
So African countries, especially AU, will not see all these anomalies.
Do we have an African Union?
Until it gets to the level of saying,
and redundant. It's only when it's
suspended.
time for chairmanship that you hear and how they collect and contribute money. That's basically all we can see.
There should be good governance. There should be transparency. There should be succession of power before you can now begin to talk of any other thing. Why don't you, also put this one as part of your constitution of the AU that you must not overstay in office?
It's terrible.
What is happening?
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, you're on to the evening rush. My analyst this evening is Mr. Elvis Elimehele. Omoye Showara is saying, do not let same politicians recycle failure across generations, calling on Nigerians to join the AAC, his political party, saying that the political party is going to be completely different. The fabric of how we run politics in this country and leadership will change. So, calling on young minds to join the AAC. Meanwhile, terrorists reportedly kill several worshippers early this morning today, while the new service chiefs who have been sworn in have vowed that they will crush Lakurawa, they will crush Mamuda, and they will crush Boko Haram. Just today, I think they were sworn in today, and immediately they were sworn in, they already given their remarks of hope and assurance to Nigerians. This terrorists who reportedly killed several worshippers during morning prayer in Katsina community. This has elicited the new army chief Shaibu vowing to crush Lakurawa and other terrorist groups in northern Nigeria. While that is ongoing, we have the ex-minister Timi Silva confirming a military raid on his Abuja residence, but however denied any link to an alleged coup, says he's in UK on medical treatment or medical vacation or something, medical checkup, that he has no idea, he has no inkling of whatever coup d'etat that certain persons mentioned him as part of. So if that you recall that the army had told us there is no truth in this, or for this man to come.
I've also said the same
that there is nothing. I don't understand
why the government is denying it.
It was Showare's Sahara reporters that released that. Showare said something in one of the interviews that anytime these guys tell you something is not true, that is actually true, because they've been following up with conversations, following up with investigations after that.
Two scenarios has happened now that will make you to know now that there's element of truth in what is going on. First, the change of the service chief. Second one, again, we just heard now that his house has been raided and that his younger brother has even been picked up.
Yes.
So, with all this
one, he confirmed it. Initially, they said the information was not true.
And the first one that came was that 16 military officers have been arrested. So we have had
it was not 16 military officers that they said was a coup, whatever.
Yes.
That the Nigerian military spokesperson told us that wasn't true.
That wasn't true.
Meanwhile, investigations were ongoing. And then a few days later, we heard about the military reshuffle happening, which a couple of Nigerians were applauding. After that, we're now hearing of this raid after they've debunked several times. What is there for you to tell us the truth? That's
the issue with the Nigerian system of government. At the end of the day, when they eventually come and tell you the truth, you will not be interested any longer. Too much of lies at that top.
It's terrible, though. It's terrible. Meanwhile,
the government belongs to us.
Exactly.
So we need to know the truth.
Exactly.
We didn't plan. We are not looking for military. We are not planning for military.
Mr. Elvis, if I show you pictures of what happened at Oworoshoki.
Yeah.
My colleague that sent it to me, I couldn't look at them. I'm seeing kids here. There's not even a woman. Oh God, Mr. Elvis,
I saw a TV some days ago sharing the Lagos State government were giving compensation to those people. They said that they are demolished.
Mr. Elvis.
So what's going on?
The consequences of what transpired there. There's a picture of a woman who gave birth. It's gory. The babies, Mr. Elvis, children wearing pampers. Look at it. Unfortunately, I can't put this out here. Eh? Look at.
Yeah, no, this is.
So scroll through.
Bad. This is bad.
Look at that. One is the woman that who just gave birth there. So, what?
No, you can't put this on air.
What is the meaning of that?
Christ.
What are we doing?
Well, it baffles me whether we still have.
What are we doing?
Talk about. When they kept saying human right. Is this still available in Nigeria?
You can imagine that.
Because if you want to talk of, you are evacuating people, you have to think of where next you are going to keep them?
They're going to come and they're going. I spoke with one of the Take It Back movement, one of them in the Take It Back movement yesterday, and he was able to give us. In fact, he did not even say a lot of what transpired. To be honest with you, like I said, I would like to bring them on Friday. One of my colleagues, I spoke with him today. Barrister Darlington gave me his number and I called him. He works on one of the radio stations and he had actually been following through with the case, written a letter to the state government, to the governor, letter of appeal actually to the governor. He was one who actually, all those pictures, and we're trying to call and make sure that those who are in the midst of the whole situation, they're able to come and give us their
the best thing we can do as media, Esther, is to see whether we can get some of these people to the studio.
That's what we're trying to
come and give a first-hand
to reach out to them, and even one of the traditional leaders there as well. Meanwhile, Senator Akpabio's sister-in-law is on a rampage again. So she's been making a lot of live videos and making some statements, and we heard that she's been excommunicated. She and from the family, she and her husband. So she was angry, and like, who are you to excommunicate? If there is anyone that is a blue blood in the Akpabio family, it's her husband who is a blue blood. The Akpabio is not. And she made a lot of statements and allegations about the Senate president. She accused that he murdered somebody in France. She also said he also murdered in Akwa Ibom while he was the Akwa Ibom state governor. Let's take a listen to her, so it's not like we're just speaking at random.
Senate president, your thoughts? Or that one government almost arrest you, put you for jail. Okay, you don't go contact make Nigeria here who you people. Now just say pass the place. Senate president now he wants to say at the place. Now Senate president, Senator Akpabio, now you want to say at the place. It is why you don't do for Akpabio, why everybody just look. People don't want to. Okay, your doors get down. 8 years as governor. Senator, what happened? You are a shameless man. Shameless! Senator Akpabio, you are saying, you got Emmanuel, please let him sue me for cyberbullying. He sues me for cyberbullying. Let him sue himself and his wife for all the murder in Akwa Ibom State. Let him sue himself. If you talk nonsense, you see, waiting happen for France, you're fine. You see that rape matter for France? You see that rape? The rape case in France. The sin for France. You can't go up your paper. You didn't match. Step Akpabio. See what my husband bought ground. Make it be popular. You want to come and sit on my head, on my children's head, and you're the honor of this Senator Akpabio. Don't want to the honor of it. Who come and say, God, still a good of Akpabio. Child of Akpabio. I see. I mean, you want to do what? They say these chicks you want to call. The police people you want to call. Before you see my death, that's when I will see your death. There is no opposite from young. Yes, I mean, nobody, if I'm a child of the spirit, before you send them to kill me, my children or my husband, I said, you need your home. And are you mad? Are you normal? So you don't want to fool people worse. They come to say, that is cyberbullying you. Some of you now, when they claim so that from great family, now, papa, now, mama. If they come to they talk, your Senate president when they talk, who be papa? That's why we don't die. The father that died, is he an Akpabio? It's his father. It's his father. My side of Akpabio, the original blue blood. Now they can't say excommunicate his right. Yeah, you're gonna move. Say I'm very short. 300 plus sitting in his office. People are walking like dilapidated buildings that you cannot even adjust the structure. You have to put it down and rebuild it. You come and talk to me. Now for them, they sleep with each other. Meeting incest, left, right, and center. That you don't even know whose wife is giving back to whose son. Come and talk to me, say I'm excommunicated. I don't excommunicate the wife of the Senate president. I just excommunicated her. The evil has gone. My own better well. You know, say my own better say if I dey fuck, I dey go fuck.
Hey, okay. Sorry. She really said a lot of things, and if you notice, I really tried to mute. She kept on abusing. If you notice the skip, I was muting a couple of words that she said. Statements from Governor Senate President Akpabio is that she's mentally unstable because she's really been called Senate president, warning him to be careful. She had said she wants to come back to the Senate. She wants to be senator by 2027. We thought it was one of their Akwa Ibom internal wranglings and all of that, but she hasn't been this explicit. She said she had a lot to say, that he had better be careful, that people are waiting for him. His cup is full, that of he and his wife. And all this while, she's been doing live videos on her, I think her name is Princess Atta. She's been doing live videos on her Facebook page, but no attention was given to her. Now, a couple of Akwa Ibomites are saying that because Godswill Akpabio is refusing to grant some family members contracts, he doesn't want to be wasteful with money, and this is a way of trying to bring him down. So persons have said, oh, this is their son, this is the first time somebody from the south is there, and that these are elements, internal elements, who intend to make sure that they spoil his administration and bring him down. But this has become recurrent. She even mentioned Natasha and all that, mentioned certain derogatory statements. And she's not in Nigeria, actually. She and her husband are in the US. I don't know what Godswill Akpabio and his legal team intend to do about all of the things that she said. I don't know if she has evidence to buttress her point. But this is a problem of leadership. Why can't we have leaders that have a clean slate? There's a problem with having leaders that do not have dirty linens or skeletons in their cupboard, because this is what will always happen when you don't satisfy certain persons or you don't meet their needs. All of these things will come up. Godswill Akpabio, ever since she's been saying all of this, has not actually tried to clear the narrative. Understand? The only thing we heard immediately that she's been making all these statements was that she and her family has been excommunicated. So excommunicated from where?
Esther, is this outburst is too high, for
she said it was. She said more, I didn't want to play. She said a lot of terrible things.
She has been saying so many
She made
things.
allegations, dangerous allegations.
Because for Akpabio not to react to, but again, as a leader, there are some things you don't even look into. But can she substantiate all this?
That's the question.
I mean, if she cannot,
she called him a murderer. She called him a rapist. She said she did something. He murdered someone in France.
To all those
she also accused that she said a lot of terrible things.
Yeah, these are very weighty allegations.
Said he has a lot of children that are not from him. Also called the wife. So I know she's not in Nigeria. Is there a possibility of Akpabio suing her?
That's the next step we'll be watching to see, Esther.
For slander or defamation, if there's no evidence to bring.
If she cannot back up this claim with evidences, then that means she will appear in court, and maybe when she gets to court, she will be able to provide.
Appear in court in the US or in Nigeria. She's making all these allegations in the US.
That's another issue, another angle to it. If she's there, I think I would have taken her much more serious than she's there in the US. I don't know. She said that the husband is from the same family with Akpabio. So that makes Akpabio a brother-in-law.
She's Akpabio's sister-in-law.
Yes. Akpabio is a brother-in-law to her. So yes. I don't know why the husband has not even also weighed in if the wife is saying all these bogus allegations against his brother. I mean, Akpabio is the third citizen of this nation.
Exactly.
And by right, I mean, somebody of that nature. Let's take Akpabio out of this and look at the office.
Exactly, the office.
The office is what we are defending here.
Yes, not Akpabio
when we are talking in this studio this evening, we are talking about the office.
The office.
Not Akpabio. Akpabio
the sanctity of that office.
Akpabio is a human being.
Yes.
And as a human being, most of these things this woman says,
not infallible.
Every human being can commit most of those allegations we are talking about.
I mean,
but we are looking at that third position.
To be honest, the politicians, we know what they're into.
So I cannot vouch for any politician, because especially Nigerian politicians, we know the antecedent when they need whatever they need and they have the means to get it, they go straight for it and get it at all costs.
And they don't care.
But it's the office we are just talking about. That office is sacrosanct, and we don't just want that office to just be drawn on the moon.
Exactly.
But Akpabio, I am not a spokesperson.
But why all these narratives around that office ever since he came on board? I haven't really heard such controversy on that particular seat until this man came there.
Yes, it shows somebody that people have actually been monitoring and be following up all his antecedents.
You remember the whole NDDC Bohaha?
Yes, remember they always say the person's cup will get filled up one day. We saw him when he was a minister for Niger Delta at that time. When NDDC matter broke out. That has not even been managed up. That that bogus allegation has not been cleared.
Buhari was the president at
yes,
the time.
before he now got, you saw the way he even came into the Senate. He never contested. Before we knew, primaries, before we knew, they brought him in, and all that became history today. Not even coming in, he now became the Senate president,
Okay.
So if you look at the way his ways have been going since he left the governorship of Akwa Ibom State, it's been something that are very doubtful. So little wonder what these kind of allegations are coming in and is making waves, because people have been following his antecedent. I'm not defending him, I'm defending his office. Therefore, if he knows that this woman has slandered his name, Ababe is a lawyer. He knows what to do.
Yeah, appropriate steps sanction, because she been doing live videos, making insinuations, making statements. But when Akpabio's team said that she's been excommunicated, she just came full on.
Yeah, but why the excommunication? Why?
Have you been following her page? Have you been seeing her live videos? Have you been hearing her insinuations?
That means that is coming from the family and the village. So those are people that are even supposed to mediate and say, okay, let peace reign, so that the name of our son, who is at that high position, must not be drawn in the mud.
She had alleged that he had stepped on toes, used people, and that he has not been able to compensate the people that he had used. I mentioned all the while he was governor, when he was NDDC boss, talked about contracts given to people that were not from his community, a lot of allegations that she had made. So I'm not surprised that Godswill Akpabio decided to make the statement he made. Yeah. But after that, that's when she began to unravel.
Another school of thought will tell you that what this woman is looking for, because she did not get it, that's why she came out. That's another school of thought. So there are many angles to it.
Well, meanwhile, there was a mild drama which played out at the National Assembly today. Officials of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board staged a walkout during a session with the House of Rep Committee on Basic Education and Examination Bodies. The lawmakers had requested the JAMB Registrar, Professor Ishak Oloyede, to present some documents before the committee. But Oloyede was absent today and was represented by Director of the Board, Muftal Bello, who arrived at the National Assembly with other JAMB officials. So, trouble started when Bello insisted that journalists could not be allowed in the room during his presentation, as he argued that the documents he intended to present contained sensitive information. Now, his request was rejected by the committee members, who insisted that the proceedings were public and that the JAMB official could not dictate to them how to conduct their affairs. So, following the disagreement, the agitated JAMB official angrily ordered his team to leave the meeting, and they walked out of the session, leaving lawmakers startled.
Esther, when Oloyede matter happened, I think last year, when JAMB matter.
Oloyede wasn't here.
But he's the head of that agency.
No, you don't understand. He wasn't here.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He sent a representative. What guts or audacity? They made that thing to work out because they said they did not want press to be there. They worked out. That is how a whole National Assembly, that is the see finish.
See finish will always be there. And the National Assembly themselves, have they respected themselves?
Well,
these are National Assembly that will tell you they are going on oversight, whatever, and they go there and start asking the agencies some money for all this and all this. That's where the see finish came in. But whatever happens, since Oloyede is still the DG of that parastatal of that agency, Esther, his name must be mentioned. I've lost confidence in JAMB since 3 years ago when my son had issues with JAMB. I told you in this office.
Mr. Elvis.
We
already know this. That was why they were invited. Yeah. There's been a lot about JAMB that have been talked about lately. For example, with the recent examinations they did, the glitch and all that.
The glitch?
No, it didn't make sense. Nigerians had called for Professor Ishak Oloyede.
That led to the death of candidates.
One of the ladies committed suicide. But
yes.
Do you know what it is for the National Assembly to invite you for questioning? You started making demands that you don't want the press to be there to cover such an event. What kind of sensitive information that on the document you want to present that you feel that press should not be there?
For an agency that is not a security agency.
Can you imagine?
It's just an examination conducting body.
And you had the audacity to angrily tell your officials
I don't know the kind of sensitive information that they
and it was while I wondered why they allowed them to walk out before they were asking the sergeant at arms to arrest the JAMB officials. But they had left the premises. But
these people have seen them. They know whom they are. They know too well tomorrow that when they said they are coming for oversight function, they are coming to collect Ghana must go.
Mr.
Well,
Elvis,
these
it
are
doesn't make
the
sense.
issues.
Do you know what it is that our
Esther, you have to
institutions...
first of all respect yourself before anybody will respect you.
So the National Assembly has disrespected themselves.
This
They've
is
turned
the National Assembly
they've
now.
turned to rice.
Are we feeling them? We're not feeling them. That's, I mean, it's the way you lay your bed and you lie on it. This is what they I mean, to me, I'm not surprised.
My God.
Because even when they get all these invitation to the National Assembly, come and do this, after that, do you hear anything again?
Mr. Elvis, in that kind of situation, were those officials not meant to have been detained? What right do they have to walk out? Because your question, you need to respond to questions. There's something wrong with that institution, Jack. And you're supposed to respond to questions. You cannot come there and tell them how they should run whatever questions they want to ask you. And you don't want the press there. Why don't you want the press there?
There are two issues here. If things work as normal in this nation, those guys are liable to be detained. Unfortunately, things are not working as expected. If you go out now for a vox pop, Esther, you will see Nigeria will say they support those white young people that are left, that they are not feeling the National Assembly. So that's just it. So things are not working as expected. You have to respect yourself for anybody to you earn it to anybody to respect you. They have not respected themselves.
It doesn't make sense. Mr. Elvis, the DSS arrested an individual who wrote a comment on social media in Port Harcourt for a military, and in as much as, yes, what the DSS did, a couple of persons who say is commendable. You don't ask for anarchy, you don't ask for a destabilization of the country, but the aspects where the DSS were meant to be active in catching criminals, in tracking them, they've not been able to do that all this while. I was just telling you that some daredevil terrorists reportedly went to a mosque this morning while people were worshiping, and just like that.
But if you spit against the president, the DSS will locate you. They will have a tracker.
Is the DSS for the president or for Nigerians?
I mean, it's for Nigerians. They will have a tracker to track you when you speak against the president. But they will never have tracker to track bandit and militant, and terrorists that are even doing live video with their victim being tormented in a live video to track that scene. That's to tell you. That's what you are saying in the National Assembly as well. It's one-sided. When it's one-sided, people take a vote. So that's the government is no longer working as expected. When our officials are not being held accountable. When government agents feel they cannot respond to anybody, they do as they like. You treat people like people are something else. On what stands? Why are we having such audacious attitude with the brazenness of crime and criminality taking the order of the day? I'm actually not happy, Mr. Elvis. You will not be happy because you just made mention of Oworo issue. They have a representative. They have a legislator. They have legislators, both at the State House of Assembly and at the National Assembly. That Oworo belong to a constituency in this nation. But you will not hear their executive now. The constituency member now, whatever legislator or whatever from there, speak on this matter. Then how do you not think that those people who are going through this torment will ever respect somebody they voted for to be in power? Abroad, if anything happens to you within your constituency, the first person that takes your matter to the assembly is your legislator.
Exactly.
To be debated and say, this is what is happening in my constituency. This is how so person. Senators and all legislative members are accessible, but only here in Nigeria. By the time you get into power, you buy a bulletproof. They don't even buy. They give them free bulletproof car with tinted glasses, and you don't know those people that voted for you because 4 years time when you come. Whether you are voted for, you are not voted for, the vote is going to your vote does not count. It doesn't mean anything. The problem is much because until the day we can make ourselves to be relevant before these people, that is, we have an electoral system that works where our vote will count. Before these people can be accountable to us, they know too well that when they come 2027, they are going to get back to the house the same way they got in there in 2023. So they will not value you and I, Esther.
So Elvis, let's take a listen to Deliver Timmy during a recent interview with Teju Babyface. He was quite bold in the assertions he made. I was scared because I don't know. You don't speak like that. He's not the only person who spoke. What I mean, you don't speak like that is we have seen that kind of way of expressing yourself is not tolerated,
DSS will come after you when they cannot go after the bandits.
But he seemed not to care. And also we had Sanusi Lamido Sanusi as well, Emir, also speaking about the fact that we do not have a class.
And he spoke the truth.
We'll listen to that. Let's take a listen to Delivery.
To delude themselves, can continue to delude themselves, but Tinubu knows, INEC knows, the judiciary knows, and so do a lot of Nigerians, that Tinubu did not win the presidency. He stole it. I said if he won the presidency, I'll leave Nigeria on exile. So let me clear that up. For him to have won, the people would have had to have voted for him. We didn't vote for him. He stole the presidency. Yakubu and INEC sold him the presidency. The presidency is not an expression of the people's will. It is an expression of the debauchery of INEC and the height of our judicial corruption. He did not win the presidency. If I had left, I would have been sanitizing and deodorizing his skunk. If nothing else, I rise and fall by my word. And when I said that I would live on exile if this man won, it was so that people will know that I do not believe Nigerians to be depraved enough to be possessed of the idiocy to vote somebody like him into power. And they did not. Anybody who prefers to delude themselves can continue to delude themselves, but Tinubu knows, INEC knows, the judiciary knows, and so do a lot of Nigerians, that Tinubu did not win the presidency. He stole it. So I'm not leaving because he did not win. It's that simple. That I'm still here is in rebuke of him. It actually cost me a lot more to stay here. It's not just the multiple level of danger that I face on a daily basis by remaining in Nigeria. Because if they will be planning my mother 3 years ago when they were not in power, one of his goons in Lagos State was the one sat at the head of the plot to kill me. They are the ones in power now. Ordinarily, I should run now. But I'm here. I am here because he did not win. He knows it. And every man and his dog in Lagos State knows it. He was beaten resoundingly in Lagos on the 25th of February. He couldn't even make 15% in Lagos. Sheikh Magbaje, the INEC commissioner in Lagos State, cannot produce the form EC8A for Lagos State up till today. I was the person who was charged by the OB legal team to collect the election material from INEC. He could not, up until today, INEC in Lagos State cannot give us the form EC8A, which is the polling unit level result. Because they know he lost. He lost woefully. He was thoroughly rejected across the length and breadth of the state that he has held hostage. For 24 years, as at that time, he lost. So how much more? The other parts of Nigeria. Let them continue fooling themselves. He has snatched it, grabbed it, but he can't run with it. And that's why we are all in the mess that we are in today. So yeah, if he had won, if Nigerians had been foolish enough to have voted for him, I would have left. It wouldn't be because of him. It would be out of protest that I could be stuck with such evil people who would have found the grace to vote for somebody like him. But as I have said, they did not vote for him. They rejected him. He has forced himself on us. And we can't do much about that.
All right. The Lagos State House of Reps Speaker Mudashiru Basa had said that indeed the APC did make some mistakes at the time, but they would actually make sure that it doesn't happen. They had looked at all the areas that there was a vacuum, and they have systematically worked on ensuring that a repeat of what transpired in 2023 does not happen again in 2027. I am sure you're already seeing the signs. They have meetings almost every week. They have tried to use social media to re-engineer the minds of the youth, especially those who did not understand or who did not want APC to come back anymore. They reeled out a couple of factors that led to what happened in 2023, and they have vowed that that will not happen in 2027. You saw how the local government elections went. You saw how everything took place, and the restructuring and reorganization of a lot of things. So they're saying that what transpired in 2023 will not take take place again in 2027. Albeit while that case is in point, let's take a listen to the Emir Sanusi also speaking in reaction to what he considers the political elites and their classlessness. All right.
This society. Nigeria is a classless society. If you take the people you call leaders, go to the Senate, go to the House of Reps, you can go and pick 109 Nigerians at random without election. Put them in the Senate chamber, and the results may not be different from what you're getting now. Okay? Because the truth is, you have highly educated people in government, but they behave like illiterates. They forget their education behind. When you talk about praise singing, why would a man who is an educated man, an accomplished man, why would he be a praise singer to anyone? Why would he not be able to face his boss and say, Oga, we're not doing that, this is the truth? And why would a person in authority not have the confidence to listen to those around him and take criticism? So you've got people who are supposed to be the representatives of the values of society. By the time you become a governor, honestly, you should be beyond looking for money. You have been given an opportunity to take care of the lives of people, to educate children, to save lives, to provide health care, to build infrastructure. And all you are thinking of is a car, a house. I mean, are you that cheap? or some bank account, and you see them, and at the end of the day they leave office. After a few years they die, and the children are fighting over the money. Then they get the money, and then they go on drugs, and everything is wasted. That money would have been better spent educating millions of young people and saving lives. So if we really want to fix this country, we need to have a class. The ruling class needs to have values beyond stomach infrastructure.
So, Mr. Elvis, there's a problem, all right, with how leadership is structured. You remember we're talking about not just in Nigeria, but other African nations. There is an endemic issue, Mr. Elvis. I wouldn't lie to you. And something needs to be done by the elites in charge. They need to go for a conference, a leadership conference. There needs to be a reorientation of their concept, of their thinking. They need to understand what leadership entails in line with the Constitution. I cannot comprehend it, Mr. Elvis, to be honest with you. People are speaking out and they do not care. You heard what Dele Faratimi said. Yeah. This wasn't a public forum. He was not afraid. He wasn't scared. It wasn't something he secretly disclosed somewhere. This was in an interview. Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, this is not the first time he's been saying this. He's been very astute. He's also been very vocal about the leadership and the state of leadership in Nigeria. It's very vital that certain things needs to be done to restructure the mindset of the political elite. Now, the question I would ask you, Mr. Elvis, is it that they do not understand how leadership works? Or is there a deliberate means of remaining nonchalant, uncaring, so long as they don't feel the brunt of what people, according to them, at the lower cadre are going through? I just need to understand.
Deliberately, they don't feel what we are going through.
What is this thing about psychophancy? He mentioned about psychophants, yes, where they surround themselves with people who only tell them what they want to hear.
Praise singers. That's just it, because of stomach infrastructure. If you are talking about leadership, Esther, these people we mention here every evening, we talk of every day. Their children and their wives are abroad, attending good schools, have good facility, infrastructure. They use Nigeria money to buy houses abroad. They know that leadership work there, and they cannot import that workable leadership into Nigeria.
True.
So that's the deliberate I'm talking about here, that they do these things here. Because here, do you know where the problem is? There are no laws. The judiciary is dead. If the laws work, anybody that goes contrary to the law ought to have faced the penalty. We just saw that a matter that happened so many years ago. Nicolas Sarkozy, the former president of France, is serving 5-year jail term. This was matter that transpired between him and later Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. This was about 2009, 2010. But the law unearthed it and said, no, you were guilty. This is not what you're supposed to, our country is meant for.
Okay.
He has just been jailed about a week ago. But here in Nigeria, we see that even those that the EFCC managed to say, oh, they committed the offense and they are put in prison.
True.
Then the next thing, the president will come and give them pardon. So how do you now encourage the EFCC to even do the little they will want to do? Or even those ones that are sponsoring all this terrorism, so much money, drug barons. And you know what drug means to bandits.
True.
They can buy arms, and these guys can also get the drugs to get themselves high. After the NDLEA would have done their best to even unearth them, put them in the plan, prosecute them. The president comes tomorrow. The next thing we are hearing is that one low-ranking officer compiled such a sensitive list. Esther, are we serious? So this is what we are seeing. Everything you are seeing here is deliberate and is cooked up. One low-ranking officer. This is a ministry where you have up to the paraphernalia of a minister. You have several permanent secretary and several DG. Directors. Where are they? That now it became an offense. Nigerians saw that list and say, why? Then the next thing the best defense we can hear that one low-ranking officer. So even that low-ranking officer does not have a supervisor, does not have an assistant director, does not have a director. Before he gets to the permanent secretary, before he gets to the minister, before the minister now takes it to the office of the presidency. So none of them could see all this. So we are jokers, Esther. So most of these things, then the Lagos State is saying they will not make that kind of mistake. What mistake did they make?
They said they will not make any.
What kind of mistake did they
They
make?
won't allow what happened in 2020.
What they are planning is that by 2027, they are going to come out more deadly, more forcefully for you and I not to get to the pool. We already started seeing the chairman of National Union of Road Traffic Soccer, Lagos State branch, Sego, already warning towards 2027. So we saw what happened after the February 25th, 2023 presidential election, when they saw that President Tinubu lost Lagos. Did Nigerians vote in governorship election? Did they allow non-Lagosians to vote in governorship election? So you are going to see more of that in 2020. That's what Obasa is just telling us here. So, and Sanusi has said it all now. What else do you want to hear from him? Praise singers, you get to the house for a very serious matter. The next thing you hear, a national anthem or your mandate we shall stand. These are people who were voted into power just the same way the president was voted into power. But now everybody is now saying, on your mandate we shall stand.
No, do you think there's anything wrong in saying on your mandate we shall stand?
No,
if the mandate is delivering. No, if the mandate is palatable.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
It's not working.
If leadership is something you can emulate.
Even if the mandate is working, Esther, it cannot work 100%. Let me tell you, there's supposed to be opposition in that house, which is not. An opposition is supposed to critique what the sitting government is doing. Unfortunately, oppositions are part of those that are singing those national anthems in the National Assembly. So we have a very long way to go. You are talking about conference to debrief. Is it to
Maybe
debrief
they can
this
have a
leader?
leadership conference or something.
And they not be
they can come
attending.
together and think and talk.
Go and check 2025 budgets and even the coming 2026 budget. You see the amount that is voted for conferences, both local and abroad. That your own money, taxpayers' money, and my own, that they use as Esther code for those that goes abroad to go and for this leadership conference. But what comes out of it? Everybody is lobbying to be part of that list because they know Esther code, they're going to earn dollars. So for those that are not qualified for abroad, they say, "Oga, put my name." Now, even if the conference is holding in Lagos, let me also go and enjoy my life in Lagos. Flight ticket, hotel accommodation, and good food. And
Is there a way of making sure that governance has no financial attractiveness, that there is nothing in it that would attract anyone? Because if you know you're going to serve and there's no financial inducement.
That's why we are talking of confederation. We are talking of restructure. If we get restructure and go back to where we were coming from, where we have regional government, it will no longer be attractive. This center is too busy. By the time you win ordinary House of Rep, Esther, you pack everybody in your village. You have a free home in Abuja. You have free cars to drive. You have free aids. So you can even decide to have almost everybody in your village as your aids. Then you have what they call constituency allowance. You have what they call constituency projects. Do you know what it means? All these ones are on top of Nigerians.
Okay.
So by the time we have a better restructured government, Abuja will no longer be useful. Abuja will become a dead zone. So if whatever in your constituency, your own region, they said, okay, you want to embezzle it, you will be useless among other regions now. Have we not seen it in this nation before? That's why we are talking about restructuring. I'm surprised that this president have not even moved it. Because when he was in opposition, when he was in Adeco, when he was telling us that he was fighting the military to go, we have not seen that all were jokes, all were pretense. He was talking about restructuring. Yeah, we never believe in one Nigeria.
Sure,
we have some interviews that he granted Esther where he never thought of being one Nigeria. He never believed in it. Now he has the opportunity to prove, okay, all that my belief, where a Democrat in quotes, but today nobody can call him a Democrat because we have not seen that it was just mere deception to get into there. Let him now, he has the opportunity now to say, okay, even if it's one tenor, let me restructure this country. Let everybody believe that this was my belief and I'm acting on my belief. We are seeing nothing now.
Mr. Lawal Kundara, good evening. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Fine. Good evening.
Good evening. Mr. Lawal, yes, on Wiki sons because he flew them to Dubai, I think Asia Pacific Cities Summit and Mayors Forum in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. He went there as, he took his two sons along with him as delegates. It triggered widespread outrage among nations who accused the minister of using public resources to sponsor what they described as a family vacation under the guise of an official engagement. So images from the summit showed Wike's sons wearing delegate tags and sitting alongside the minister during some sessions. The event attracted city leaders, mayors, policymakers from across the world, and it was aimed at promoting global partnerships on urban development and sustainability. The reason is because Wike is an FCT minister. Maybe he decided to carry his sons along, I don't know, but the question is under whose budget? Larry Alainka, the aide to Wike, says, if it is you next time, he made a derogatory comment because people reacted to him and that's Wike and the sons there. But my question to you is this: was it wrong that he took his sons along for such a summit? Is it because he's an FCC minister and that's why that kind of outrage is on him, or criticism? And you know Wike doesn't care. You can say whatever you want to say, it's none of his business. But we saw his two sons there. And then a couple of Nigerians are saying, don't be surprised, we'll now see them in the House of Rep. Another Nigerian said, what is there? After all, El Rufai's son is in the House of Rep. Former Governor of Rivers State, Peter Odelioso, the daughter as well. You know, they made reference to former governors whose children are continuing, you know, with the House of Reps. So what's your take on that quickly before we go on a break?
Well, one, if he wants to take his children abroad, this is a prerogative, this is a headache. But if he's spending another person's money to sponsor them, then the people who owns the money have the right constitutionally to ask questions because it is their money. And it is entrusted into his care to do some certain things. So it's responsible to give them the reason why he did that. And if the reason does not go along with the rules and regulations that is, you know, that has to do with his office, in which the money is entrusted to him for, then it is regarded as corruption. That is where we'll talk about corruption. And you see what is going on now. We have seen so many things about Wike. That is why the government, this government, has keep losing credibility because people around him, one or two, have questionable characters. A home minister found that a home minister that he didn't finish from the school. He has a certificate plus NYSC. He didn't finish. He didn't graduate from that school. And the question is, how did he get to be, you know, approved? He didn't go through only the Senate. He went through the president. He went through the presidency. He went through the Senate.
He went through DSS check. That's the first place.
You see?
You know, they were the one that removed the Erufai, DSS. So this same minister who had no papers, who had no credentials, went through that same.
The Senate was saying it's not their job to go through that process. Their own is just to ask.
DSS is if
but that DSS was the main person, and that they did not fall in line with their jurisdiction.
That is why I said that this government keep losing credibility. Look at that statement. You want to employ somebody to work for you in a company, and you say it's not my business. You look at whether the person is qualified or not. It is the business of the security man that is manning the gate outside, or the chief security. The person you want to work with, that you need is expertise. You get it, experience, knowledge, qualification to achieve good result in that area. It's not your business. You can go out and pick somebody under the bridge now and then make him minister and say, well, after all, it's not my business whether he whatever. I mean, look at the sentence, look at what we hear. That is why people like Wike will do that. Look at the case he has in the FCT.
Because
with those lands allocated to his family.
If you can recall, when the president during COP 28 or COP 29 summit, the climate change summit.
Yeah,
I think that was in 2023
the one that
when he just
took place
assumed
in Doha.
Yes, in Doha, when he just so and Nigerians
Nigeria.
chastised the president because his son was there as well. They chastised him that
Their
why would you do
girlfriends.
all
They
of
went
that?
to their girlfriends. We saw videos.
You know,
Is it the one that took him?
because of that thing, the organizers of those programs made a broadcast that henceforth they will start putting restrictions on countries. The number of delegates you have to do, they'll cap it.
Right?
Yes,
Even
they said they'll cap
saying the same thing, that they're going to reduce those that they're in terms of cutting short their envoy, those who will escort them along for such events.
They said we should sell Nigeria, and they are the one who are demarketing the country. They are the one demarketing. You travel to Brazil, you said there's no corruption. Is it possible for you? I mean,
Mr. Elvis, there's also another important thing for proper information to come from the quarters, the right quarters. You know that Nnamdi Kanu's case has been closely followed, but it's giving room for several information that is not authenticated, especially all this online information that has no form of authenticity. For example, there's one that is saying that the federal government has bowed to pressure to deport Nnamdi Kanu back to Kenya after failed attempts to jail him, that based on pressure from international communities and human rights organizations to send Nnamdi Kanu back to Kenya, the country where he was originally arrested and extraordinarily extradited from, and that there's heavy security presence at the airport as Kanu was being escorted into a flight bound to Nairobi. So these things will go out there on Facebook, YouTube, and you see a couple of followers believing this information. That's why we try to authenticate information right here. Nnamdi Kanu's case is still very much in court. It's being handled in court. He's to appear on the 4th, 5th, and 6th of November for continuation of trial. The latest we heard is that all of the witnesses he brought, he's saying that there is no case, and so there is no reason for that. He has also maintained that the Nigerian judiciary is not meant to try him, since all the altercations and all the utterances he made was done in the UK. Well, we'll see how that goes. But let's take a very short break, all right? And then we will return to have more conversations and take your calls.
Customer, welcome. What do you want buy?
I want buy changeover. Quarter fuse and distribution board made of 100% heavy duty copper.
Oh, come, I get that. See, I'm here.
No, now I'm looking for Slatter Star J quarter fuse and distribution board, Nipo quarter fuse, Star J solar battery, inverter, MPPT controller, and solar panel.
But Oga,
don't worry. I know where to get them. Whether na Star J changeover quarter fuse, Slatter distribution board, Nipo quarter fuse, Star J solar battery, inverter, MPPT controller, and solar panel, Star J ceiling fan, sockets, all earthen materials. Make you no go do cover wise pan foolish show. Slatter Star J Indian product, na #1 since 1961. Made of 100% heavy duty solid copper with no compromise. Available in all leading electrical shops nationwide. Slatter Star J, na you Pico.
Lagos, are you ready?
The Niger Landlord Summit 2025 is here. Join us on Saturday, 1st November 2025 at the Golden Tulip Hotel, International Airport Road for the biggest gathering of real estate minds in Nigeria. Come and discover how to profit from the booming housing demand in Nigeria. Explore funding and investment opportunities that work. Gain insights and government housing policies shaping the market. Experience the latest prop tech innovations transforming property ownership. Network with top developers, investors, and policymakers all in one room. Don't miss this power-packed event. Registration 50,000 naira only, with full access to sections, exhibitions, with premium networking and refreshment. How to register? Make payment to VOP FM account number 112-416-8488. Again, 112-416-8488. Zenith Bank. Send your proof of payment via WhatsApp to 0707 4297 0707
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is still the Evening Rush right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Esther Machuku. I actually have right here in the studio Mr. Elvis Elimehele and as well as Mr. Lawa Ekundayo. Please kindly focus on me. There's no football for you today. Thank God. Please kindly help me turn off this TV. I don't want Mr. Lawa to watch TV. Mr. Lawa, you have football. They should make you one. They should make you one coach. What is it?
That's why.
Which interlude? Mr. Lawa can get lost when it comes to football. All right, thank you for joining us. Let's look at the situation about information authentication. One of the emirs of Sokoto has asked the federal government to try and regulate social media. We don't know what, although that call is coming based on the whole Christian genocide information that has gone right. You know that if it was not for social media, we may not even know about some of these things. What made it exacerbate or get to this point was the rift between Reno Monkri and Mike Arnold. I'm sure you heard how Mike Arnold now came out and he roasted Reno Monkri. Not be small roast. It got so bad that he went back to the US, organized a press conference in front of people and really gave a detailed breakdown of his meeting in Nigeria with Reno Monkri and the talk about Christian genocide. And he says that a lot of accounts that are not known are accounts actually debunking the whole Christian genocide thing. Said they brought somebody that it was represented as a CAN leader who was not really the CAN leader. That's Christian Association of Nigeria in Abuja, with about 2 imams. He even said that the US ambassador to Nigeria, who is Donald Trump's daughter's husband, that is Donald Trump's in-law, made a statement and said that it is not a Christian genocide. It has like far more Muslims are actually being targeted by this terrorists and all. So he was making reference that they all had the same phrase and all, and talking about how the political class here literally tried to live in a delusional state and called out Reno Monkri. So again, this is basically his call about the containment of information via social media. The era of social media has brought to light a lot of things that the ordinary Nigerian agency wouldn't let us know, especially the news agency of Nigeria. It is what they want you to know that you would know. They wouldn't let out all of this information until social media came on board. And even a couple of us as journalists, that's where we even get first-hand information, because when you try to reach out to any of the respected agency, they wouldn't respond to you on time. Or they would look for something like a PR statement to give to you. But with what he said, do you think that the Nigerian government should adopt whatever it is he's suggesting?
Why would they? First thing first, you can't completely regulate social media because it's social media. So anybody will say regulate social media, you may create. How do you do that? Because it's internet. You want to shut down people's internet.
Okay.
Even when crime is happening and you are recording, it's still social media because it's getting into the social space through the internet, is going somewhere else. So for you to say you want to regulate it is a difficult thing. Second, for you to say you want to regulate it is even not right, because so many lives have been saved by this social media. So many lives,
And
so
so,
many
yes.
crimes have been stopped.
And
So many
lives
brutalities
exposed.
of police have been stopped based on this social. In fact, so many evidences, have helped judge court pronouncements based on social media, because for certain information, the crime scene can be easily recorded and put on media, so everybody can pick it and say, okay, look at that young man that was killed by that area boy.
Exactly.
Beating him,
Or
beat
even
until
the
guy
whole
died.
situation with Jam, the Jam glitch, YX situation as well. Everything came to a height on social media. That was why it was exposed before they decided to look into it.
So,
if there was no social media,
has
that
saved
abruptness
so many lives.
wouldn't have been
Have
there.
you not seen the latest one that just came out now, that the federal government have now agreed to review the pardon list?
Yes. That's the level I wanted to go into, because
Nigerians spoke out through social media.
Yes.
And now the presidency is saying, okay, all those drug barons, the kidnappers and the armed dealers and all that should be removed. So so nobody can regulate social media. They are
With this bandits,
we have seen Buhari's government, coming up with all this regulation before. It never worked. All the propaganda of Lai Mohammed then against social media. So they use social media. They got to power through social media.
Ban Twitter, ban X, ban everything.
They got to power.
But it happened during Buhari's tenure now,
because
when Twitter was banned.
yes, Nigerians still survived it.
Obviously.
no country can actually
Social media has
regulate
come
social
to
media.
stay, because even this social media we are talking about, it serves as a means of livelihood for so many Nigerians.
Exactly.
I
I think he was trying to say how we can curtail certain information.
Esther,
for example, like this Nnamdi Kanu information right now.
When it is not favoring them, they call for containment of social media. When it is favoring them, they use it at the best of their knowledge to reach out to people.
They are using it very well.
Yes, but it only depends on you and I, because you can't see such that kind of information on Kanuna and believe in it.
Yeah, obviously.
So
some people do.
Yeah, some people do.
They kind of follow it. Some people do. That's why we're trying to authenticate.
Again, that's why we have this kind of medium.
Conversation.
This kind of medium we have, we can reach out to people. People listen to radio and they will, that message is not correct.
Okay, wait. I want to say something. Look at the case of this rumor about coup. Look at the way the government itself is not coming out. And you tell me that people will not begin to spread rumor. You get it? Where they can see glimpses of truth here and pockets of evidences here and there, and it's easily spread. And then social media is it's like gossip. How do you regulate gossip? Because even if there is no social media, information will still travel. The only problem is that you may not have that physical.
It's very controlled. When we didn't have it, it was usually very controlled.
So it's not possible for you to say you want. The only thing is that just make sure that you are as truthful as possible. It is the truth that will really regulate the social media. Because if anybody wants to bring out something that is not true, and the truth is already there, everybody will look at truth and say, no, this one is not speaking the truth, and begin to avoid that platform.
Certainly.
So that is the way, because this social media has come to save so many lives. It has helped even the police in their work. It has helped the judiciary. It has helped because they will ask you for hard evidence and then you bring it out. And sometimes you see that when you send information, thank God you send it. Something may happen to that phone. They may steal that phone. They may collect that phone and break it.
All right.
And you understand what I'm saying? But because you have set it on social media, it's safe.
Well, a couple of persons has come out to say that Nnamdi Kanu started off as somebody who wanted the right thing for Nigeria. Basically, he didn't start off as somebody who considered saying, I want a Biafra, I want this nation out of Nigeria. And that was Omoye Sowore. He was talking about how the government made a young man who wanted the sanity of the nation, who wanted the peace of Nigeria and fighting for the peace of Nigeria before he became what he became. Let's look at this. I think this was one of the protests in the UK with him at the time. And let's take a brief listen to how he years it then.
The reason why we're here today is to protest the killing of innocent women and children and men, for that matter, all over Nigeria, especially the northern part of Nigeria. We are not happy. We are not pleased with what is happening, and that is why we're here today. As you can see, there are a lot of Nigerians who are protesting about the killing of families, people who are determined to tear the country apart violently, and it is not something that we support. society. In fact, what is happening in Somalia today will be like a tea. So we cannot allow this nonsense to continue. Something has to be done. And the consequences of the actions of terrorism in Nigeria must be given home to the people, so that even the terrorists themselves will be able to understand that there is no mileage in where they're going. The only thing they can accomplish is the breakup of Nigeria. If they think that they can cower people, if they think they can force people to be coerced into a religion which is not theirs, then they are deadly mistaken. We are asking for peace. We are asking for people to get together. We are asking for everybody who loves Nigeria, who is associated with that country, to please prevail upon terrorism in Nigeria so we can bring it to an end. That is why a multitude of Nigerians are gathered here today. Those of us in the UK are determined to work with the government for peace. We are determined to work with the international community for peace. But one thing we cannot stomach is a repeat of 1966. What is happening today in Nigeria was the reason why Nigeria fought a bitter civil war for 3 years between 67 and 1970. If this continues, there will be another civil war in Nigeria. And this time around, no place will be safe in Nigeria.
All right, so this was way back during Buhari's administration, I think. During the early period when Boko Haram's onslaught was really ravaging the country. There was a protest by Nigerians in diaspora in the UK, and that was where he was canvassing for a united Nigeria, calling on everyone for that criminality and crime to be called out so that it can be, banished from the country. And Sure was saying that this is basically what the government has turned. People had a good mind, people had a good heart for the nation, and when the cries and clamor were not being attended to, he now decided to focus on, if you would not take care of the country, then let my people not be part of what you are doing. The killings have gotten too much. Do you think that was basically what changed his psyche or changed his mindset? I'll start with you, Mr. Elvis.
The psyche came out of frustration, Esther. After that protest, what happened? Nothing changed. Even as we speak today, you just made mention of what happened today, this morning, killing. Has it changed? So when there is too much of frustration, even lead to insanity, you get depressed. Nigerians are just walking on the street. Most Nigerians are not sane any longer. Yes, because what we hear and what we see every day are things that get you depressed.
So, Mr. Elvis, you're not lying. No?
Yes.
I went to buy fish.
It's just that
the way the woman reacted.
Yes.
I said, Madam, sorry.
It's just that in this part of the world, until you take off your clothes before people say, oh, he's mad. Over 70-80% of Nigerians are already in that state where if we were having a regulated society, everybody would have been going through psychiatric treatment one way or the other, because we are daily depressed by what we hear, what we see. So a situation where you don't have a middle class any longer.
That's true.
And middle class are the bane of the economy. That's where you have the micro economy,
exactly.
Where people say, oh, at least I can still afford this and I can survive. We only have the Akpabios and the Wikis and the others of this world. Then now the one is you and I here in the studio, Esther. Can we measure up to them? We cannot. Why would that frustration not continue? So the frustration is just beginning. That's why we are calling on, before it gets to the level of this rumor, oh, there was a coup, there was no coup. Let the government do the needful. We are not nobody, no right thinking Nigerian will be calling for a military coup, because we knew how we fought for this democracy. I was a student. I know how we fought for this democracy when we were in school. Today, the tenet of the democracy, are we enjoying it? Absolutely no. It's been hijacked by few miscreants who have now become oligarchy on us, lords. But let the characteristics of democracy flow along Nigerians at all strata, so that Nigerians could say, okay, this is what we actually fought for, this is what we are benefiting in. Unfortunately, some few people hijacked it, not up to 10% of this nation. And they keep telling us, oh, today you cannot even use your handset that you had your data on, because we want to regulate social media, but they don't want you to speak any longer. So this protest, has become something that have now accumulated for so long that got to, okay, if, like in my place, there's an advance that say, if I'm praying for the whole community and it's not responding, I have to shift the prayer to my family. let me now begin to pray for my family since the community is not responding to the prayers. So before now the can now began to say, okay, since it's not working, Nigeria as a community, as a whole country is not ready to hear, let not what happened in 1966 repeat itself.
Okay.
Let me now begin to talk of how to detach my people out of this again. A repetition of what happened in 1966 that led to the Civil War. The people that suffered the brunt of the Civil War most is the Easterners till tomorrow. So that's what led to where we are now saying it has become like a regional fight. Oh, now the country is talking of IPOB, independent people of Biafra.
Indigenous.
Indigenous people of Biafra. It has fought for the nation, for everybody to be liberated. But it wasn't happening because this fight you are talking about, Esther, by the time you go across to the north, it becomes a different thing.
Exactly.
If you come to this west where we are here, it becomes a different thing. They are Omoye. They are the ones that are talking about secession. But come down to the time of Igboho that day now, we also saw now that what is happening in east is happening in the west.
At the time.
And at the same time, it's happening in the north now. Look at even the north central now that just become like a slaughter.
Mid Nigeria.
Yes, that have become a slaughter cows every day now that we hear of killing across the north central of this nation. So what do you say about those ones? So if the governance is bad, it does not affect only one region. It goes across the whole nation. So when somebody is talking about liberty, freedom, good economy for the nation, don't look at this person that where he's coming from. Look at the message that person is preaching. Because that message, if it's not handled at that level, it's coming to your room. It's coming to your family.
All right, Mr. Lawal Kundaya, because I need to open the phone lines now. The APC is hinting on Fubara, Alex Oti, and Kefas, including Mutwang, of joining the party before 2027, by 2026. They listed Plateau State, Taraba, Rivers, and Abia State as those being courted by the party, stressing that their defection was highly possible in the coming weeks. And is it possible, especially for Abia State? Because I really don't know how his people would feel. We all know what is going on with the Labour Party. For Motwang, we will say we're not surprised because he had already told us that he was being pressured to join. So we may not be surprised to hear that he has joined the APC. But the APC had been very confident that they're taking over all the opposition states. And if those governors decide to join the APC, I don't think we'll have any opposition anymore. We literally now have a one-party state. What's your take on that?
What the first question I will ask is that, what do they intend to gain from this? What do they, because this thing that is happening, I've never seen it happen in any country that is democratic. I've never. In America, you see, they will maintain that blue state. They can lose election, win election, but you hear the red state, you get it. You go to Europe, you go to everywhere, a reasonable society.
You don't know why it's happening. They are deciding to defect.
That's what I'm saying. That what
they want to be close to the center.
See, it's not about the center.
That's what they say.
Wait, Esther. See, when you talk about ideology, wait now, you are talking about ideology. The ideology that they are decamping must have an objective, must have a goal. This goal, you get it, we don't understand, we don't see it. That's why I said, if you ask now, because before these people decamped,
Esther. If you ask, I want you to continue with that. If you ask,
what I want to say is that, before, that's the part of the question, no. That's the question I want to ask. That before these people decamped, APC won. Nigeria won a presidency now. So now that they are decamping, do you want to win what is beyond presidency? Because you won the presidency before they decamped. They are decamping. What exactly do you want? Because without them decamping, you actually won. They declare you winner. So what exactly are they trying to achieve? What is their goal with this thing they are doing? Anybody who didn't want to decamp the force, that is what is, because so many governors are coming out to say this and that. We saw what happened in Rivers. We saw. The question is, what is the goal to this? That's why some people said they want to make the country a one-party state. I don't really understand what they want to achieve. Maybe you can help
No, the goal is simple. The presidency, according to INEC, led by the then chairman of INEC, Yakub Mahmoud, he told Nigerians that APC won the election. But we know that even from here, that was not the wish of Nigerians. Now, anybody that is not aligning with APC is an enemy of APC, because the paraphernalia, the government, the structure is in their hands. So if you are saying what is their aim, what is their goal of the campaign, they want to maintain their own stay. That's the selfish thing we are talking about. You made mention of Alex Oti, Esther. I'm surprised. Alex Oti is an orphan. That's the way I would describe him. Can you tell me today which party Alex Oti belongs that will give him ticket in 2027? Is it, which party is he going to fly his re-election in 2027? Alex Oti is even one of the governors I pity most in the campaign and where he is at the moment.
Well, it's not been confirmed.
Unfortunately,
they are quoting.
No, unfortunately, if we had independent candidacy in Nigeria Constitution, Alex Oti would have said, okay, my people love me and I'm good enough with my people. Let me go on that independent ground. Unfortunately, the Constitution still say you must have to fly your ticket under a political party. Which party? Is it Nenadi Usman-led Labour Party that will give him ticket, or Abure-led Labour Party? And you know what that means? Before you know, court will come in. Before you know, the same opposition that are cutting him now, take on. They will so use the court to make sure that they scuttle that election, or whatever, whether he wins or not, to take over that state. So he has to play by the rules now to save himself and save his people. That's number one. Number two, if you are talking about the campaign, let's leave the governors out of this matter. The only problem we have is that we have not gotten the electoral act as it's supposed to be. These governors would have been in shape in 2027 if everything were actually as organized as supposed to be. We just had an election that happened in Ghana. There was no court case in Ghana. Everybody went. That's just a neighboring country here. It's an African country, West Africa in that manner. If we can even have a seamless election of that nature that happened in Ghana, do you think these governors would have been having this brazen enough to tell us that we are the campaign because we want to align with the center? What do you mean by center in democracy? The same way you were voted in is the same way the president was voted in. Your people said, if your people say, oh, we like PDP, and we vote you in through PDP, and you now get to the office and say you want to align with the center, you are alone. You'll be a lone ranger. At the end of the day, we didn't vote for you to go to APC. So go with your APC. They vote another person. But unfortunately, the system does not work. So everybody have to align with that system now to make sure that we have to be. That's why you can see them mentioning center. We saw what happened in Edo State. Was that the wish of the Edo people? It's not. We saw what happened in Kogi. Was that the wish of the Kogi people? So when they see examples around them, and they want to remain in that office, they want to come back, that's why you are hearing center is raining. Look at Oborowori, the Delta State governor. Exactly. What would have even imagined that Delta will be talking of going to APC? But when they have issues with themselves, they have issues with the anti-corruption agency, and the parties just dangle a little carrot at them, or even a little pressure. They say, no, this is where we have to get our freedom. That's why you are seeing this thing is raining. But 2027, Nigeria, I keep repeating it, Esther, let us find a way to call on legislators to amend our electoral act so that the election for 2027 will be between Nigerians and APC. Okay. So whoever the camp, if the electoral act is strengthened, it's the campaign at his own peril. If the result counts, we'll vote him out.
All right. The number to call is 080-3692-9933. 080-3692-9933. The WhatsApp number is 0817-1756-338. Hello. Good evening. How are you? Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome, please. What's your name?
My name is Thomas. I'm calling from my brother.
All right, Mr. Thomas, please go ahead.
As a young growing adult, I'm just scared of Nigeria right now because we are living in a mess. Imagine all the system now. I'm just kind of confused now because everybody is just decamping to the ruling party. And what Nigeria really just need now is our own, election laws to be reformed. Because that's just the only way
08036929933. 08036929933. Your radio, please. All right. Hello. Good evening, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Sunday calling from Mission.
All right, Mr. Sunday, please go ahead.
What happened is that it's so clear. Everyone telling me that sometimes when I went to the center, it doesn't mean we want to have one party in the country. And then people are all over the country. So those who are on top, they are problems. They will be nobody. When you bring them in, they will decide where they will go. So they will be the rest. We're going to do that something like that. Many governments have mentioned about 4 governors are planning to join it. So in fact, even if we want to vote, we are confused. We do not know what is happening again. We do not know. Even we are going to vote, we don't know. So we don't know who is talking about when those so-called governors. So the fact that we are confused. But we pray that God will show us the way at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for calling.
Okay, so guys, it's just the calls they're taking now. Thank you all so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.